Hey guys, so had a lot of questions about bucket gardening since I joined the group, so I thought I would run down what we do here. So I got the buckets. I'll go over that in a second. Um, these are little planters, and they have mint planted in them. Um, if you plant mint directly on the ground, you'll get lovely mint, but it will be everywhere. So I always plant them in the planters. So we have tomato plants, pretty much a bunch of them, and they're all planted over here by the fence. Then I got a couple buckets of spinach. Um, I had 5 spinach plants, so I've been harvesting off of these. You can see there's some cut pieces if you look real close. Um, I've been harvesting spinach for about 4 weeks now. It just cut the larger leaves off, and smaller ones just keep popping right back up. So we'll just keep going with that for the season and see how that does. It's our first year with spinach. Um, got a very nice zucchini plant there. Got another one up there. Um, we have tomato plants all over the place. Some of these are Marglobe, and some are cherry tomatoes. So that's a Marglobe. That's a cherry. Um, Marglobe are determinate plants, so they will grow, get to their full size, put out their fruit, and it'll all stay green until one time, and then they'll ripen all at once. They're more for canning, so they're what we call here in Southern Maryland a field tomato. Let's see, we got a couple squash. I try to do 2 squash in a bucket. Somehow this bucket got 3. I just don't have the heart to thin back the the plant, so I'm gonna leave all 3 go. But I have quite a few buckets here of squash, a couple buckets of zucchini. So this is one of the things I'm pretty proud about. This is romaine lettuce, and if you guys haven't watched any videos, you should go on YouTube. What you do is when you get romaine lettuce in the store, cut the stump off about an inch at the bottom. Put it into I put it in a plastic Tupperware container, put it up in the windowsill, and put about half an inch, 3/4 of an inch of water in there, and it'll actually root. And then you can transplant it from there directly into soil. And I do this every time I order romaine lettuce from the store. Uh, every time you cut it, it just comes right back. I'll show you a plant in a second that we just harvested the other day. But you can come out and just cut off leaves if you need, just a little bit for a sandwich or a salad or something. So I have 4 buckets of watermelon. Now I'll let the watermelon grow out off of the black tarp and onto the ground here. I'll as the leaves start to come, I'll pull them out. Let's see what else. So we got eggplant here. So the eggplant, as you can see, I got 3 buckets of eggplant, and I had a little bug infestation, so I wasn't able to get out here. But I use neem oil to spray on pretty much everything, just to it does quite a few of the bugs for the tomato plants and for the eggplants. But I found it's good on the cucumbers too, especially if you have cucumber beetles. Let's see, we got 4 bell peppers. These are California bells here, and then I got another bucket up here with 4. So when you get the heads like I showed you before, they'll start to get tall like this one, right? So I'll cut that off about halfway and leave just a few leaves down the bottom, and then this is what'll happen. It'll split, become 2 stalks, eventually 3, 4, 5. By the end of the summer, I'll have more romaine than I know what to do with. Basil. I don't eat a whole lot of basil, but I keep some out here. We do have chickens. We got some babies over here, and then we got some larger ones out front. So every once in a while I'll pick some of that basil, maybe some of the lettuce leaves, drop it in there. Chickens love it. These are straight neck squash, but I also have, so those are straight, and these are summer squash. So I always keep a few buckets of squash going, but they all do really well. So I don't plant everything all at once either. So like that bucket, the zucchinis down the end, some of the other squash I planted back last month to this, I just planted this month. Let's see what else we got. We got some more bells. So the other thing too is I want to tell you, so I do Mariglobe, which I told you were determinate, but I also this year tried something new, which was, they're called Carolina Gold. That's there, and they're like an orangish, orange yellow more than a red, but they have a very distinct taste to them. I think they're just a little bit sweeter, but they have a lot more meat than juice, so they're great for sandwiches. We got, this is 3 plants. They're Goliath tomatoes. Most of this stuff I grew from seed. This and the Carolina and one of the squash I picked up when I was getting chicken feed the other day, so they were pre-grown. And then I have a neighbor over here who has a greenhouse, and he grows these. These are tumbling toms. They come in 2 varieties in this pot. So one variety is yellow, one variety is red. So he splits them. So there's 3 plants in each of these hanging baskets. It's great because it keeps it up off the ground. But if you look, I mean, these things are just, this thing is just loaded with tomatoes, ready to be picked. Got planters here that we just planted flowers in the other day, trying to attract pollinators. But I wanted to show you this. So we just had this fence put up, and the cucumbers are loving this. They've instead of growing up the trellis, they've actually started to grow up the fence, and I'm liking that idea. So they have kind of weaved themselves in. It's good because it gives them some support. But it's always great if you put your bucket, especially when you have cucumbers, next to something high, because then it gives that cucumber room to reach up and get more leaves, more vine, and everything. So I'm going to come over here. So I showed you the watermelons earlier. We also do cantaloupe in buckets. So what I'll do is I'll put 2 plants in a bucket, and the healthier one will be the one I keep. This one somehow got 3. I think I may have dropped a seed and it just took off. So we'll see which one looks the best, and we'll go with that. And then we planted some marigolds here. I got 3 pots of marigolds, a couple pots of wildflowers. And as they start to pop out the flowers, I'll move them out there in the garden. That'll help attract bees and other pollinators. Then up here I got a couple cups of petunias. So we'll grow these, and then I'll transfer these into buckets to put on our front steps and stuff, just to attract the more pollinators you got, the better. So I just wanted to go over the bucket garden with you, and that's what we've been doing. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I don't mind sharing any information I've learned, or if you got some idea that you don't see I have here, feel free to let me know, because I'm always looking for more information.